I found my girlfriend's wedding dress hanging in her closet 3 days after she accidentally called me her fiancé at brunch, and when I asked her about it, she didn't even try to lie. She just asked me which wedding I thought it was for. I'm writing this from a hotel room because I can't go back to my apartment yet. My hands are still shaking. I don't even know where to start, but everyone keeps telling me I need to get this out, so here goes. My name's Marcus. I'm 29, and until about 6 hours ago, I thought I was dating the love of my life. Her name is Priya. Was Priya? Is Priya? Jesus, I don't even know what tense to use anymore. We met 4 months ago at a mutual friend's birthday party. One of those rooftop bar things in the city where everyone's wearing too much cologne and pretending the $12 cocktails are worth it. I wasn't even going to go. I'd just gotten out of a pretty rough relationship about 8 months prior and wasn't really looking for anything. But my buddy Jake practically dragged me out, said I needed to rejoin the land of the living. And then I saw her. I know that sounds like some rom-com bullshit, but I literally stopped mid-sentence when she walked in. She was wearing this deep green dress that somehow made her eyes look impossibly bright, and she had this laugh. God, her laugh. It filled up the whole room. She was talking to someone near the bar, completely animated, her hands moving while she spoke, and I just thought, I need to know that person. Jake noticed me staring like an idiot. That's Priya, he said, friend of Sarah's. She's a physical therapist, just moved here from Boston like 6 months ago. Is she single? I asked, not even trying to be smooth about it. I think so. Sarah mentioned she broke up with someone before the move, long-term thing that didn't work out. I didn't need to hear anything else. I walked right up to her, interrupted her conversation, which, looking back, was incredibly rude, and introduced myself. She raised an eyebrow at my entrance, but smiled anyway. You always this forward? She asked. Only when I meet someone who makes me forget how to act like a normal human being, I said. She laughed at that. That same laugh I'd heard from across the room. That's either the best line I've ever heard or the worst. Let me buy you a drink and you can decide which one it is. We talked for 3 hours straight. I forgot anyone else was even at that party. She told me about growing up in New Jersey, about her massive extended family. She had 16 cousins, about how she'd always wanted to live in a big city where she could just be anonymous for once, about her job and how satisfying it was to help people recover their mobility after injuries. I told her about my work in marketing, my slightly obsessive relationship with fantasy football, my secret addiction to terrible reality TV. Wait, she said at one point, you're telling me you watched The Bachelor? Unironically, I admitted. I have opinions about the rose ceremonies. She nearly spit out her drink. Okay, that's actually kind of endearing. Is that code for weird, but I'll allow it? Something like that. By the end of the night, I had her number. By the end of the week, we'd been on 3 dates. By the end of the month, she was spending most nights at my place. It was fast. I know it was fast. Everyone said it was fast. My sister Rachel told me I was getting way too attached way too quickly and needed to pump the brakes before you get hurt again. But I couldn't help it. Priya was different. She was smart and funny and ambitious. She texted me good morning every single day. She remembered small things I mentioned in passing, like how I hated mushrooms but loved every other vegetable, or how my mom's birthday was coming up and I was stressed about finding the right gift. And the chemistry? Forget about it. We couldn't keep our hands off each other. I'm talking skipping work to stay in bed all morning, making out in the back of Ubers, almost getting kicked out of a movie theater once because we couldn't stop whispering and laughing during the previews. It felt like we'd known each other for years instead of weeks. There were a couple things that seemed a little odd, but nothing that set off any real alarms, at least not at first. For one, she was weirdly private about her family. Like, I knew she had 16 cousins and her parents lived in Edison, but she never wanted to talk about them in detail. Whenever I'd ask about visiting them or meeting them, she'd change the subject. It's complicated with them, she said once when I pushed. They're very traditional. I just need some time before I introduce you to that whole world. Traditional how? I asked. Just trust me. Indian parents are a lot. They have expectations. I want to make sure we're really solid before I subject you to the interrogation that will be my mother meeting you. I got that. I mean, my mom could be intense too, so I dropped it. The other thing was her schedule. She worked normal hours at the PT clinic, but she had these random blocks of time where she'd be completely unavailable. Like, wouldn't answer texts, wouldn't pick up calls, would just go dark for a few hours. When she'd resurface, she'd always have an explanation. Sorry, had back-to-back patients and my phone died. Sorry, was at dinner with my coworker and didn't want to be rude. Sorry, had to deal with some family stuff. Again, nothing that seemed suspicious. People get busy. Life happens. I didn't want to be that boyfriend who needed constant contact. And besides, when we were together, she was all in. Present, affectionate. She'd rest her head on my chest while we watched TV and trace patterns on my arm with her fingers. She'd steal fries off my plate and then act offended when I tried to take them back. She'd send me stupid memes in the middle of the day just to make me laugh. About 2 months in, I told her I loved her. We were at my place, cooking dinner together. Well, she was cooking. I was mostly just handing her ingredients and trying not to get in the way. She was making this incredible curry from scratch, and the whole apartment smelled amazing. She was wearing one of my old college t-shirts, and her hair was up in a messy bun, and she was singing along to some Bollywood song playing from her phone, and I just thought, this is it. This is the person I want. I love you, I said. She stopped stirring and turned to look at me, wooden spoon still in hand. You what? I love you. I know it's fast, and you don't have to say it back, but I just needed you to know. For a second, she just stared at me, and I panicked. Too soon, Marcus, you absolute idiot. You scared her off. I love you too, she said quietly. Then louder, with a huge smile. I love you too. She dropped the spoon and kissed me, and it tasted like curry spices and chapstick, and it was perfect. That was 8 weeks ago. Last Sunday, we went to brunch with Jake and his girlfriend Sarah, the friend who'd introduced us in the first place. We went to this trendy place in Brooklyn that serves overpriced avocado toast and bottomless mimosas. I was in a great mood. We'd just spent the entire weekend together, barely leaving my apartment, and I was in that gross honeymoon phase where you just want to tell everyone how happy you are. We were waiting for our food, mid-conversation about some article Sarah had read, when Priya turned to me and said, "Could you pass me the hot sauce, babe? My fiancé knows I drown everything in it." The table went quiet. She froze. Like, completely froze. The smile died on her face and her eyes went wide, and I watched the color drain from her cheeks in real time. "You're what?" I said, laughing a little because obviously it was a slip of the tongue. Obviously she meant boyfriend. People mix up words all the time. "Boyfriend," she said quickly. "Sorry, I meant boyfriend. I don't know why I said that." Jake and Sarah exchanged a look. "Freudian slip?" Jake joked, trying to ease the tension. "You planning on proposing, Marcus?" "Not in the next 5 minutes," I said, still smiling but feeling a weird knot starting to form in my stomach. Priya forced a laugh. "Sorry, that was so weird. I think I'm just tired. Didn't sleep well last night." She had, though. She'd slept fine. We'd woken up tangled together at like 10 a.m., and she'd seemed perfectly well rested. But I let it go. Because what else was I supposed to do? Interrogate her about a slip of the tongue in front of our friends? That would be insane. Except I couldn't stop thinking about it. The way she'd frozen, the panic in her eyes, the too fast correction. The rest of brunch was normal, or at least she acted normal. She laughed at Jake's jokes, asked Sarah about her new job, ate her eggs Benedict with the aforementioned hot sauce. But I kept catching her watching me when she thought I wasn't looking, this worried expression on her face. On the subway ride back to my place, I finally asked, "That was a weird moment at brunch." "What was?" "The fiancé thing." She stiffened. "I told you, I just mixed up my words. It doesn't mean anything." "I know, Can we please just drop it?" She said it a little too sharply, and then seemed to catch herself. She reached for my hand and softened her voice. "I'm sorry. I'm just embarrassed. I said something stupid and everyone made it into a thing, and now I feel like an idiot." "You're not an idiot." "I know. Can we talk about something else?" So we did, but it was still bothering me. That night, Priya said she had to go back to her place to take care of some things. Laundry, she said, some work stuff she needed to prep for Monday. She'd been staying at mine so much lately that she needed to make sure her apartment hadn't grown mold or something. "I could come with?" I offered. "No, it's okay. I'll probably just crash there tonight and come back tomorrow after work." That wasn't unusual. She did that sometimes, spent a night at her own place to recharge. She said she needed her own space occasionally, which I totally understood. Healthy, even. She kissed me goodbye and left around 7. I tried to distract myself with TV, but I couldn't focus. My brain kept replaying that moment at brunch. My fiancé. The panic on her face. The way she'd shut down when I tried to talk about it. "It doesn't mean anything," I told myself. "People say wrong words all the time. You're being paranoid because of Emma." Emma was my ex. The rough breakup I mentioned earlier. She'd cheated on me with a coworker, and I didn't find out until I saw them together at a bar 6 months into their affair. It had fucked me up pretty good, made me suspicious and jealous in ways I hated. I'd promised myself I wouldn't bring that baggage into my next relationship, but still. I pulled out my phone and opened Instagram. Priya posted on there occasionally, pictures of food, pictures of her with friends, the occasional selfie. I scrolled through her feed looking for, I don't even know what, some clue, some explanation. And then I saw something that made my stomach drop. It was a post from 3 weeks ago. A picture of her and another woman, both dressed up, fancy restaurant in the background. The caption, family dinner with the favorite cousin. That wasn't the weird part. The weird part was the tagged account. At Priya Sharma, PT Sharma, her last name was Kapoor. At least that's what she'd told me. Priya Kapoor. I'd seen it on her mail when she left packages at my place, on the buzzer label at her apartment building. I clicked on the tagged account. It was definitely her. Same face, same smile, same everything. But this account was way more active than the one I followed. Tons of posts, pictures with family, pictures with friends I didn't recognize, pictures at what looked like Indian weddings and celebrations. And the bio. PT by day, Auntie's favorite daughter by night. Future Mrs. Future Mrs.? My hands started shaking. I scrolled through the posts. There were a bunch from the past 6 months, around the time she'd moved here and we'd met. Pictures of her at work, at restaurants, at parks, normal stuff. And then there were posts from before that, from her time in Boston. And in a lot of them, she was with a guy. Tall, good-looking, well-dressed, Indian guy with a neat beard and those hipster glasses that somehow look good on certain people. They were clearly together in these pictures. His arm around her waist, her leaning into him, coupley poses at what looked like formal events. The most recent one with him was from 7 months ago. The caption, "Can't believe we're really doing this." The post had 247 likes and dozens of comments. "So happy for you both. You guys are perfect together. Can't wait for the wedding." The wedding? I clicked on the guy's account. His name was Arjun Mehta, and his bio said he was a software engineer in Boston. His feed was a mix of tech stuff, food, and travel photos. And in a lot of the recent ones, including posts from the last 4 months, he was still posting about Priya. Pictures of them together. Pictures of what looked like wedding planning shit. Pictures with both their families together. The most recent post was from 2 weeks ago. A picture of an ornate invitation with gold lettering. The caption, 2 more months until I marry my best friend. December can't come fast enough. At Priya Sharma PT, December, 2 months. I checked the date. Late October now, so the wedding would be in late December. I dropped my phone like it had burned me. This had to be a mistake. A different Priya Sharma. A cousin with the same name? That was possible, right? 16 cousins, she'd said. Maybe one of them was also named Priya and was getting married and... But the pictures, the face, the same mole on her left cheek, the same smile, the same fucking person. I picked up my phone and looked at her original account again. At Priya K Therapy. Just a few posts, way less followers. Almost like a... decoy account? No, this was insane. I was jumping to conclusions. There was an explanation. I called her. It rang 4 times and went to voicemail. I called again. Same thing. I texted, "Hey, can we talk? Call me when you get this." 3 dots appeared immediately, like she'd been holding her phone. Then disappeared. Then appeared again. Finally, "Is everything okay? I'm in the middle of something." I stared at that text. The middle of what, exactly? "I just need to talk to you about something. Can you call me? Can it wait until tomorrow? I'm dealing with family stuff." Family stuff? Like wedding planning family stuff? My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. "No," I typed. "It can't wait." The dots appeared and disappeared for a solid 2 minutes. Then, "Okay, give me 20 minutes." I waited for exactly 37 minutes before my phone rang. "Hey," she said, and her voice sounded strained. "What's going on?" "Who's Arjun?" Silence. Long, horrible silence. "Marcus?" "Who is he, Priya?" Why are you asking me this?" "Just answer the question." I heard her take a shaky breath. He's someone I used to date. In Boston. It ended when I moved here." "That's funny, because his Instagram says you're marrying him in December." More silence. "Are you stalking me on social media now?" Her voice had gone cold. "You're going through my accounts, looking up people from my past? That's really healthy, Marcus." "Don't turn this around on me. Are you engaged to someone else?" "No." "Then why does his post from 2 weeks ago say he's marrying you in 2 months?" "Because he's delusional," she snapped. "We broke up. He didn't take it well. He's been posting weird stuff, pretending we're still together, and I've been trying to handle it quietly without making it into a huge thing." That actually made sense. I mean, I'd heard of exes doing crazy shit like that. refusing to accept breakups, living in fantasy worlds on social media. Why didn't you tell me about this? I asked, my voice softer now. Because it's embarrassing, Marcus. My ex-boyfriend is essentially cyber-stalking me and pretending we're still together, and I've been working with his family to try to get him to stop without having to involve lawyers. I didn't want to drag you into my mess. I'm your boyfriend. Your mess is my mess. I know. I'm sorry. I should have told you. I thought I could handle it on my own. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe her so badly. What about the name thing? I asked. You told me your last name was Kapoor, but your other Instagram account is Sharma. Sharma is my middle name. I use it for work stuff because there are like 10 Priya Kapoors in the PT database and it was getting confusing with patient files. Also plausible. And the fiancé thing at brunch? I pushed. The slip? She let out a long exhale. Arjun used to introduce me as his fiancé to people, even before we were officially engaged. It was this whole thing with his family, this pressure to get married. I think it's just still in my head from dealing with all his posts and messages lately. I'm sorry it came out at brunch. I was horrified. Every answer made sense. Every single one. And yet something still felt wrong. Can I see you? I asked. Tonight? I'm in Edison, she said. At my parents' house. Remember the family stuff? I told you I needed to deal with this tonight. What family stuff? Just stuff with my mom. It's complicated. Priya. Marcus, I love you, okay? I know this looks weird, and I know I should have told you about Arjun sooner, but I promise you there's nothing going on. I'm with you. Only you. Can you please just trust me? I closed my eyes. Okay? Okay? Okay. I trust you. Thank you. The relief in her voice was palpable. I'll come over tomorrow after work, and we can talk about this more. I'll show you all his crazy messages, all the stuff I've been dealing with. No more secrets. No more secrets, I repeated. I love you. I love you too. We hung up. I didn't sleep that night. At all. Just lay in bed staring at the ceiling, my mind running through everything she'd said, trying to make it all make sense. Around 3 a.m., I did something I'm not proud of. I looked up Arjun Mehta on LinkedIn. Found him pretty easily. There's not that many software engineers with that name in Boston. Sure enough, his profile picture matched the Instagram photos. His profile said he worked at some tech company in Boston. Graduated from MIT. Currently based in Boston. Currently. If he was based in Boston and Priya was here in New York, how were they planning a wedding together? How were they doing all the wedding planning stuff shown in those Instagram posts? Unless he'd moved to New York too and hadn't updated his LinkedIn? Or unless the wedding planning happened during trips back and forth? Or unless Priya was going back to Boston regularly without telling me? I thought about all those blocks of time when she'd be unavailable, when her phone would be off or she wouldn't respond for hours. No. Stop it. You're being paranoid. But I couldn't stop. I pulled up her work website, the PT clinic where she worked. I'd visited her there once for lunch, so I knew the address. The website had a staff directory with pictures and brief bios. There she was. Priya Sharma, DPT, Sharma, not Kapoor. Okay, so she was telling the truth about using Sharma for work. But why lie about her last name at all? Why introduce yourself to someone you're dating with a fake last name? At 6 a.m., I gave up on sleep and made coffee. My phone buzzed with a text from Priya. Good morning, I know yesterday was a lot. I'm sorry again. Can't wait to see you later and clear everything up. I stared at that text for a long time before responding. Morning? Yeah, me too. The workday was absolute torture. I couldn't focus on anything. I had 3 meetings and didn't absorb a single word said in any of them. My boss asked if I was feeling okay. I said I might be coming down with something. Not a lie, technically. I felt sick to my stomach. Around 2 p.m., I did something else I'm not proud of. I told my boss I needed to leave early. The something I was coming down with was getting worse. Then I drove to Priya's apartment building in Queens. I'd been there a few times before, but she always preferred staying at my place in Manhattan. Said her apartment was smaller and my neighborhood had better restaurants. Which was true, but now I was wondering if there were other reasons she didn't want me there. Her building was one of those newer constructions with a doorman and a fancy lobby. I walked up to the desk. Hi, I said, trying to sound casual. I'm here to see Priya in 4C, but I think I left my phone in the car. Could you buzz her for me? The doorman looked at me skeptically. Priya Kapoor in 4C? My heart skipped. Yeah. He picked up the phone and dialed. It rang several times. No answer. She's not picking up, he said. You want to try her cell? That's the thing. I left my phone in the car. But I know she's home. She's expecting me. Could you maybe let me up? I'm her boyfriend. The doorman's skepticism increased. I can't just let people up without confirmation from the resident. Right, of course. Totally understand. I pulled out my wallet and showed him my ID, like that would somehow help. Look, I'm Marcus Chen. I've been here before. I can show you pictures of us together on my phone if... Oh wait, I said I left my phone in the car, but I swear. Sir, I'm sorry, but I can't let you up without confirmation. Fuck. I thanked him and left, feeling like an idiot. What was I even doing? Breaking into my girlfriend's apartment because I found her ex's Instagram? I sat in my car outside the building for 20 minutes, trying to decide what to do next. And then I saw her, Priya, walking up the street toward her building, in scrubs carrying her work bag, like she was just getting off her shift. She wasn't supposed to be done until 5:30. It was only 2:45. I got out of the car. Priya! She spun around and her face went through about 5 emotions in 2 seconds. Surprise, confusion, panic, and then forced calm. Marcus, what are you doing here? I wanted to surprise you. Thought maybe we could talk earlier than planned. I'm not... I had to come home early. I'm not feeling well. She did look stressed, tired even. Do you want me to take care of you? I asked, walking closer. I could make you soup or something. We could watch bad TV. No, I just need to sleep it off. I'll come over later, I promise. Priya. Marcus, please. She said it quietly but firmly. I need some space right now. I'll come over tonight and we'll talk. Okay? I wanted to push. I wanted to demand to see her apartment, to see if there was any evidence of Arjun, to see if she was hiding something. But I couldn't. Because if I was wrong, if I was just being a paranoid, jealous boyfriend who'd been burned before, I'd ruin everything. Okay, I said. She kissed me quickly on the cheek and then hurried into her building. I got back in my car and drove home. The whole way, I kept checking my rearview mirror like I was expecting someone to be following me. At 7 p.m., my buzzer rang. Priya was downstairs. I let her up, and when she walked through my door, she looked exhausted. Her eyes were red, like she'd been crying. Hey, I said. You okay? She dropped her bag and walked straight into my arms, burying her face in my chest. I'm sorry, she mumbled. I'm so sorry for being weird. I held her, feeling her shake a little. What's going on? She pulled back and looked at me. Can we sit? We moved to the couch, and she took a deep breath. I haven't been completely honest with you, she started, and my heart sank. Not about Arjun exactly, but about my family situation. I waited. My parents, they had an arranged marriage, and it's what they want for me too. They've been trying to set me up with someone for years, and Arjun was their choice. He's from a good family, good job, good prospects. We dated for 2 years because it made them happy, but I was never in love with him. I liked him fine, but I didn't want to marry him. She paused, wiping her eyes. When I moved here, it was partially for the job, but it was also to get away from all that pressure. I thought if I put physical distance between us, they'd eventually let it go. But they haven't. They're still pushing for it. Arjun's still pushing for it. They've been planning this wedding without me really agreeing to it, just assuming I'll eventually come around. Jesus, I breathed. And I've been trying to tell them no, but it's so complicated with Indian families. You don't understand. It's not just about me and Arjun. It's about honor and tradition and family expectations. My mom cries every time I try to talk to her about it. My dad won't even speak to me. And Arjun's family has invested money already, and there are all these social obligations, and... She was crying harder now. And then I met you, and everything changed. You made me realize what it actually feels like to love someone, to want to be with them, not because it makes your parents happy or because it's the right thing to do, but because you can't imagine your life without them. I pulled her closer. The slip at brunch happened because I'd been on the phone with my mom that morning, and she kept referring to Arjun as my future husband, and I think it just got stuck in my head. And I panicked because I didn't want to have to explain all this family drama to you. I didn't want you to run away. I'm not going anywhere, I said. I need to end it officially with Arjun. I need to tell my parents that I'm not going through with the wedding, but I've been scared. Scared of disappointing them. Scared of becoming the family embarrassment. Scared of losing everyone I grew up with. You won't lose me, I told her. She looked up at me with those bright eyes, now rimmed with red. Promise? Promise. We stayed up until 2 a.m. talking. She showed me messages from her mom, guilt-trippy texts about how much they'd sacrificed for her, how Arjun was such a good match, how she was breaking her father's heart. She showed me messages from Arjun, sometimes sweet, sometimes pushy, always assuming they were still together despite her telling him they weren't. It all seemed real. The family, pressure, the cultural expectations, the complexity of it all. And I felt like a complete asshole for doubting her. For the next 3 days, things went back to normal. Better than normal, actually. Priya stayed over every night. We talked more openly about our relationship, about the future. She even mentioned that she wanted me to meet her parents eventually, once she'd sorted out the Arjun situation. On Thursday night, she left some clothes at my place. I'm basically living here anyway, she laughed. Might as well make it official. On Friday, she left her laptop too. My place is starting to feel like a storage unit, she said. I should have been happy. This was progress. She was integrating into my life, making space for us to build something real. But something still felt off. Maybe it was the way she'd angle her phone away from me when she texted, or how she'd sometimes leave the room to take calls, or how she still had those random blocks of unavailable time that she'd explain away with work or errands. On Saturday, she said she had to go to her place to get something she'd forgotten. Want me to come with? I asked. We could finally watch that movie at my place that you keep saying you want to watch. No, it's okay. I'll be quick. 30 minutes tops. She left around noon. At 12:45, my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Is this Marcus Chen? A woman's voice. Indian accent. Yeah, who's this? My name is Kavya Sharma. I'm Priya's cousin, the one from the Instagram post. My blood went cold. I'm sorry to call you out of the blue like this, but I found your number in Priya's other phone, and I think you need to know what's going on. Her other phone? She has 2 phones, Marcus. One for you, one for everything else. And I can't keep watching this happen. It's not right. I sat down heavily. What's not right? Priya is engaged to Arjun. She has been for 2 years. The wedding is in December, 8 weeks from now. I've been to dress fittings with her. I've helped address invitations. This isn't some arranged marriage she's trying to get out of. She said yes to his proposal. She's been planning this wedding while dating you. No, I said. No, she told you what she needed to tell you, but I can't watch her do this to you. And I can't watch her do this to Arjun either. He has no idea about you. None of us did until I found your messages on her backup phone. My head was spinning. This doesn't make any sense. Why would she, I don't know why. Cold feet? Wanting one last adventure before settling down? I've asked her, and she won't talk to me about it. But it ends now. I told her this morning that she either comes clean to both of you today, or I will. She's at her apartment right now? If that's what she told you, then no. She's at a venue meeting with Arjun. They're finalizing the catering for the reception. I couldn't breathe. I'm texting you the address, Kavya said. The venue is called the Palace in Queens. If you want proof, go there. The line went dead. My phone buzzed with a text from the unknown number. An address in Queens. This was insane. This had to be some kind of mistake, some jealous cousin trying to stir up drama. But what if it wasn't? I grabbed my keys. The drive took 25 minutes. The palace was exactly what it sounded like. A massive Indian wedding venue with ornate architecture and gold detailing everywhere. I parked across the street and just sat there for a minute, trying to work up the courage to go inside. And then I saw them, Priya and Arjun, walking out of the building together. He had his arm around her waist. She was laughing at something he said. They looked like any normal couple, comfortable and familiar with each other. They looked happy. I watched them walk to a car, his car, I guess, and get in. I watched him lean over and kiss her before starting the engine. I watched my girlfriend kiss another man. They drove away. I sat in my car and threw up in a Dunkin' Donuts bag I'd had in the back seat. Then I called Kavya back. You saw? She asked quietly. I saw. I'm sorry. I really am. For what it's worth, I think she does care about you. But she's scared of disappointing the family, and Arjun is the safe choice, and she's trying to have both. How long have you known? I found out 3 weeks ago. I've been trying to convince her to end it with one of you. I thought she'd do the right thing. Can you send me the address of her apartment? Her actual apartment? Marcus, please. She sent it. A different address than the one I had. A different building in a different neighborhood. There's one more thing you should know, Kavya said. She doesn't just have 2 phones, she has 2 lives. The apartment you just got the address for? That's where she lives with Arjun on weekends. He thinks she works late during the week, so he stays in Boston most of the time and comes down Friday through Sunday. Oh my God. Who am I to her? I asked. Like, in her head, who do you think I am? I think you're what she wishes she could have, and Arjun is what she thinks she should have, and she's trying to figure out which one wins. She should have figured that out before she lied to both of us. I agree, Kavya said softly. I'm sorry, Marcus. You didn't deserve this. I drove to the new address, a nice building in Astoria, nicer than the Queen's apartment I'd been to before. I knew I couldn't get in without a key or without someone buzzing me up, but I waited outside like a stalker, hoping to, I don't know, see something, confirm something. Around 4 p.m., an older couple walked out carrying groceries. I grabbed the door before it closed and slipped inside. I found the apartment. 6F. Stood outside it for 5 minutes, trying to decide if I was really going to do this. I knocked. No answer. I tried the handle. Locked, obviously. I was about to leave when a neighbor came out of the apartment next door. An elderly woman with kind eyes. "Can I help you?" she asked. "I'm looking for Priya," I said. "I'm a friend. I was supposed to meet her here, but she's not answering." "Oh, she and Arjun went out a little while ago. Sweet couple. Always see them together on weekends." I managed a smile. "Right, I forgot they had plans. I'll text her. Tell them Mrs. Patel says hello." "Will do." I left the building and sat in my car again. I didn't know what to do. Didn't know where to go. My phone buzzed. Priya. "Hey, sorry, took a bit longer than expected. On my way back now. Want to order Thai food for dinner?" I stared at that text for a long time. Then I typed, "Sure." She got to my place around 6:30, carrying takeout bags and smiling like nothing was wrong. "I got extra spring rolls because I know you always want more," she said, kissing me hello. I felt numb. We sat down to eat, and she chattered about her day. Some story about a patient who'd made her laugh, some drama with a coworker. I barely heard any of it. "You're quiet," she said eventually. "Everything okay?" "Just tired," I lied. "Want to watch something? We could finally start that show everyone's been talking about." "Actually, there's something I need to ask you." She set down her fork. "Okay? I need you to be completely honest with me." "Of course." "Are you engaged to Arjun?" All the color drained from her face. "Marcus? Are you?" She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. "It's complicated." "That's not an answer." "Technically, yes, but it's not what you think." I stood up. "Get out." "Marcus, please let me explain." "You're engaged to someone else. While we've been dating. While you've been telling me you love me. While you've been sleeping in my bed. It's not like that. I'm trying to end it with him, but it's complicated with the families." "You're engaged to him," I was shouting now. "You've been planning a wedding with him. I saw you today, Priya. I saw you at the venue. I saw you kiss him." Her face went white. "You... what?" "Your cousin called me. She told me everything. The 2 phones, the 2 apartments, the weekend life with Arjun. All of it." She started crying. "I can explain, then explain. Explain how you could do this. To me, to him, to everyone. I didn't mean for it to happen this way. I was supposed to marry Arjun. It was all planned, arranged by our families, and I said yes because that's what you do. But then I met you and I fell in love with you and I didn't know how to stop the wedding without destroying my entire family. So you just... what? Decided to date both of us? To lie to everyone? I was going to choose. I was going to figure it out." "When, Priya? The wedding is in 8 weeks." I know, and I was going to call it off, I swear I was. But every time I tried to talk to my parents, they'd cry or threaten to disown me. And Arjun's family has spent so much money, and there's all these people invited, and it was easier to lie to me than to deal with your family. That's not fair. You called me your fiancé at brunch, I said, and suddenly it all clicked into place. You slipped and called me Arjun's title, because in your head you were already splitting us into roles. He's the fiancé. I'm the boyfriend. He's the real life. I'm the escape. No, Marcus, I love you. Do you? I asked. Do you actually love me? Or do I just represent freedom from your obligations? She was sobbing now, makeup running down her face. I love you. I do. I've never felt this way about anyone. Then call off the wedding. Right now. Call Arjun and tell him it's over. She looked at me with such pain in her eyes. I can't. You can't or you won't. It's not that simple. It is that simple. You either want to be with me or you don't. You either choose me or you choose him. Why do I have to choose right this second? Why can't you give me time to figure out how to... Because I'm not some placeholder while you work up the courage to disappoint your parents. I'm a person, Priya. A person who fell in love with you. A person who thought we were building something real. We are. We're not anything. You've been lying to me from day one. Your name, your family situation, your relationship status? Was anything you told me true? Everything I said about us was true. My feelings for you are real, Marcus. That's the one thing I haven't lied about. I laughed bitterly. How am I supposed to believe that when everything else was a lie? She reached for me, but I stepped back. I need you to leave, I said. Please don't do this. Please, can we just talk? There's nothing to talk about. You made your choice the moment you decided to lie to me. You chose him. You chose the wedding. You chose your family's approval over whatever this was. That's not true. Then prove it. Call him right now. End it. She pulled out her phone. Her hand was shaking. She stared at the screen for a long moment. Then she put the phone back in her pocket. I can't, she whispered. Then we're done. Marcus, get out, Priya. She stood there crying for another minute, like she was waiting for me to change my mind. When I didn't, she gathered her things and walked to the door. She turned back one more time. I really do love you. I know you don't believe me, but it's true. If you loved me, you wouldn't have lied to me for 4 months. She left. I locked the door behind her and just collapsed. Sat down right there on the floor and let myself break down completely. The next few days were a blur. I called out of work, didn't shower, barely ate, just lay in bed replaying every moment of our relationship, trying to figure out what was real and what was performance. Jake came over on Tuesday, let himself in with the spare key I'd given him. Jesus, dude, he said, looking at the state of my apartment. When's the last time you opened a window? I don't know. What day is it? He sat down on the edge of my bed. Sarah told me what happened. Well, what Kavya told her happened. Priya's been blowing up Sarah's phone trying to explain. There's nothing to explain. She's saying she ended it with Arjun. I sat up. What? Yesterday. Called off the wedding. Her family is apparently losing their minds, but she did it. She's trying to get in touch with you. I grabbed my phone. Sure enough, there were 17 missed calls from Priya and about 30 texts. Please talk to me. I ended it with Arjun. I chose you. I know I fucked up, but please give me a chance to explain. Marcus, I love you. Please. I felt nothing. Or maybe everything. I couldn't tell anymore. What do I do? I asked Jake. That's up to you, man. But for what it's worth, Sarah says Kavya confirmed it. The wedding's off. Priya's parents aren't speaking to her. It's a whole thing. I thought about it for a long time. About how good it felt when we were together. About her laugh and her smile and the way she'd trace patterns on my arm. About how she'd lied to me for 4 months straight. I need to talk to her, I said finally. We met at a coffee shop the next day. Neutral ground. She looked terrible. Like she hadn't slept in days. Her eyes were swollen from crying. Thank you for meeting me, she said quietly. Jake said you ended it with Arjun. I did. I called him Sunday night after I left your place. Told him everything. About you. About how I'd been lying. About how I couldn't marry him. How'd he take it? About as well as you'd expect. He's devastated. Angry. His family is threatening to sue my family for the money they spent. My parents... She laughed bitterly. My parents have basically disowned me. My mom told me I've brought shame on the whole family. I'm sorry. Don't be. It's what I should have done months ago. She looked at me with those bright eyes. I should have been honest with you from the beginning. I should have ended things with Arjun before I started things with you. I should have stood up to my family sooner. I should have done a lot of things differently. Yeah, I agreed. You should have. Can you forgive me? I'd been thinking about this question for days, turning it over in my mind from every angle. I don't know, I said honestly. What you did, it wasn't just lying. It was a fundamental betrayal of trust. You made me believe we were building something real while you were literally planning a wedding to someone else. I know. And even now, I don't know if you ended it with Arjun because you actually want to be with me or because you got caught. If your cousin hadn't called me, would you have just kept lying? Would you have married him and kept me as some kind of side thing? No, Marcus, I was going to tell you. I was working up to it. When? At the wedding? When you didn't show up and I wondered what happened to my girlfriend. She flinched. That's not fair. None of this is fair, Priya. You put me in an impossible position. You made me fall in love with someone who didn't actually exist. I do exist. The person you fell in love with, that's me. That's the real me. Is it? Because the real you lied to my face for 4 months. The real you was engaged to someone else our entire relationship. The real you gave him your weekends while giving me your weekdays like I was some kind of schedule placeholder. I know I fucked up. I know I hurt you. But I'm here now, and I'm telling you that I choose you. I'm choosing you over my family, over Arjun, over everything. Doesn't that count for something? It did, of course it did. But it also didn't fix anything. I need time, I said. I need time to process all of this and figure out if I can ever trust you again. How much time? I don't know. Maybe a lot. Maybe forever. Her eyes filled with tears again. So this is it? We're done? I didn't say that. I said I need time. Can I call you? Text you? Not yet. When I'm ready, I'll reach out. Marcus? That's the best I can do right now, Priya. She nodded, wiping her eyes. Okay, I'll wait, however long it takes. We sat there for another minute in silence. Then she stood up, grabbed her coat, and walked out of the coffee shop. I watched her go, and for the first time in days, I felt like I could breathe. That was 3 days ago. I'm still in this hotel room because I couldn't stand to be in my apartment surrounded by reminders of her. Jake's been checking in on me. Sarah, too. Even Kavya sent me a message apologizing for the role she played in all this mess. I've been doing a lot of thinking. Part of me wants to forgive her, wants to believe that people make mistakes, and what matters is that she ultimately chose me, that love is complicated and messy, and sometimes people fuck up. Another part of me knows that trust, once broken, is almost impossible to rebuild. That even if we tried to make it work, I'd always be wondering if she was lying. Always be checking her phone, her schedule, her stories. Always be waiting for the other shoe to drop. And that's no way to live. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Maybe I'll call her in a few weeks and we'll try to work through this. Maybe I'll block her number and move on with my life. Maybe something in between. What I do know is that I loved her. Really, genuinely loved her. And that feeling was real, even if everything else was built on lies. I also know that I deserve better than someone who treats me like a secret. Someone who compartmentalizes me into convenient time slots. Someone who makes me feel like I'm not enough. So yeah, that's where I am right now. Sitting in a hotel room at 2 a.m., writing this all out for strangers on the internet because I don't know who else to talk to about it. If you made it this far, thanks for reading my disaster of a love life. And if you have any advice, I'm all ears. Because right now, I have absolutely no idea what the fuck I'm supposed to do next. Edit. Added 6 hours later. Holy shit. Okay, so I posted this at like 2 a.m. and then finally fell asleep around 4. Just woke up to literally hundreds of comments and messages. First, thank you all for the support and advice. Reading through all your perspectives has actually helped a lot. Second, a lot of you have been asking about updates, and there is one. A big one. I woke up to 47 missed calls. 47. From a number I didn't recognize. I also had voicemails. A lot of voicemails. The first one started playing automatically. Marcus Chen, this is Arjun Mehta. I need to talk to you immediately. Please call me back. My hands started shaking again. I listened to the second voicemail. Marcus, I know you probably don't want to talk to me, but I have information about Priya that you need to hear. Please call me back. The third one was longer. Okay, I understand if you don't want to call me. I wouldn't want to talk to me either if I were you. But here's what you need to know. Priya didn't end our engagement. Not really. She told her family she's having cold feet and needs time, but she told me privately that she just needs a few weeks to let you down easy. She's been texting me since Sunday saying she still wants to marry me, that you were just a mistake she needs to clean up. I didn't believe her at first. I thought she was just trying to make me feel better, but then I saw the texts she sent to her mother yesterday. Marcus, she's playing both of us. I nearly dropped my phone. She told her mother that she's going to fix things with you long enough to make sure you're not going to cause problems for the family, and then she's going to quietly reunite with me and we'll have a smaller wedding in January instead. She said, and I quote, Marcus is emotional right now, but he'll calm down. He loves me too much to actually leave. I'm sending you screenshots of everything. Check your email. I'm sorry, man. I really am. But we both deserve better than this. The voicemail ended. I opened my email with shaking hands. There were the screenshots. Dozens of them. Text conversations between Priya and Arjun. Between Priya and her mother. Between Priya and Kavya, who apparently didn't know about any of this either. The messages confirmed everything Arjun said. Give me 2 weeks and I'll have Marcus handled. He's upset now, but he'll come around. Mom, stop worrying. I'm not actually leaving Arjun. I just need time to smooth things over with Marcus so he doesn't make a scene. Arjun, I love you. I've always loved you. Marcus was just, I don't know, a moment of weakness before I committed to forever with you. I read them all. Every single one. some from before our coffee shop meeting, some from after. While she was sitting across from me, crying and saying she chose me, she'd already texted Arjun saying, "Meeting Marcus now to do damage control. Call you tonight." I ran to the bathroom and threw up. When I came back, there was a new text from Arjun. "I called off the wedding for real this time. My family thinks I'm crazy, but I showed them the texts. I'm done with her. I thought you should know what you're dealing with. I'm sorry we both got caught up in her mess. I can't believe this is real. I can't believe any of this is real. She didn't choose me. She didn't choose Arjun. She chose herself and what was convenient and what she could get away with." I forwarded all the screenshots to Jake. Then I blocked Priya's number. No time needed, no working through it, no chance of reconciliation. I'm done. Completely fucking done. And you know what the worst part is? Even now, even after seeing all of this, there's a tiny part of me that still loves her, that still remembers how good it felt to be with her, that wants to believe there's some explanation that makes this okay. But there isn't. There's no explanation that makes this okay. She's not who I thought she was. And I need to accept that and move on. So yeah, that's the update. Thanks again for all the support, everyone. I think I'm going to be okay eventually, just not today. Edit 2, 4 hours after first edit. She figured out I blocked her number and showed up at the hotel. I don't know how she found me. Probably asked Jake or Sarah. But she's downstairs right now and the front desk just called my room saying someone named Priya is demanding to see me. I told them I don't want visitors and to ask her to leave. They said she's refusing and causing a scene. Great, just great. I'm not going down there. I'm not giving her another chance to lie to my face. But Jesus Christ, even now she can't just accept it's over. Even now she has to push and manipulate and try to control the situation. I'm ordering room service and putting on noise-canceling headphones and pretending this whole nightmare isn't happening. Edit 3, 1 hour later. She's gone. Hotel security escorted her out. But before she left, she convinced someone to bring a note up to my room. I shouldn't have read it. I knew I shouldn't have read it. I read it anyway. Marcus, I know what Arjun sent you. I know how it looks. But those messages aren't what you think. I was just telling my mom what she wanted to hear to buy time. I was telling Arjun what he wanted to hear so he wouldn't completely lose it. I was managing the situation the best I could. But my actual feelings, those are for you. They've always been for you. Please let me explain in person. Please don't throw away what we have because of out-of-context text messages. I love you. Pia. Even now, even after everything, she's still lying, saying she was managing the situation, that the texts were out of context. She really thinks I'm that stupid. She really thinks she can manipulate her way out of this. The worst part? 3 days ago, I might have believed her. I might have given her the benefit of the doubt, because I wanted so badly for her to be the person I thought she was. But I'm not that person anymore. I'm someone who knows better now. I tore up the note and threw it away. Then I texted Arjun. "Thank you for showing me the truth. I'm sorry we both got caught up in this. Hope you're doing okay." He responded immediately. "Same to you, man. We both dodged a bullet." Yeah, we really did. So that's it. That's the real end of the story. No dramatic reconciliation, no grand romantic gesture that fixes everything, no twist where she was actually the victim all along. Just a woman who lied to everyone who loved her and somehow still thinks she's entitled to forgiveness. I'm checking out of this hotel tomorrow and going back to my apartment. I'm going to pack up everything she left there and donate it. I'm going to block her on every platform. I'm going to tell Jake and Sarah to never mention her name to me again. And then I'm going to start figuring out how to trust someone again. It's going to take a while. But I'll get there. Thanks for listening, Reddit. Writing this all out actually helped more than I expected. Take care of yourselves out there. And if someone you're dating accidentally calls you their fiancé, run. Just run. Edit 4, next morning. I couldn't sleep last night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face. Not the crying, manipulative face from the hotel lobby. The other face. The one from that first night at the rooftop bar. The one that made me forget how to breathe. I hate that I can still remember exactly what she was wearing. I hate that I can still hear her laugh in my head. Around 3 a.m., I did something stupid. I unblocked her number just to see if she'd tried to contact me again. She had. 73 messages. I'm not going to quote all of them, but they follow a pattern. First, apologetic and loving. Then frustrated and accusatory. Then desperate and pleading. Then back to loving again. It's like watching someone cycle through every manipulation tactic in the book, hoping one of them will land. The most recent one, sent at 2:47 a.m. I can't sleep knowing you think I'm this terrible person. I'm coming to your apartment tomorrow. We need to talk face to face. You owe me that much. I owe her? I blocked the number again, but now I'm paranoid she's actually going to show up at my apartment, which is why I'm still at this hotel, even though I said I was checking out today. Jake called me around 9 a.m. Dude, you need to get ahead of this, he said. Ahead of what? Priya's been calling Sarah nonstop. She's telling people you're the one who manipulated her, that you found out about Arjun and threatened to ruin her life if she didn't end things with him. She's flipping the script. I felt my blood pressure spike. Are you fucking kidding me? Sarah doesn't believe her, obviously, but Priya's convincing. You know how she is. She's already got a couple mutual friends thinking you might be the bad guy here. Let me get this straight. She lied to me for 4 months, was engaged to someone else, planned a whole wedding while dating me, and somehow I'm the villain? I know, man. I know. But you need to protect yourself. Screenshot everything. Save those texts Arjun sent you. Document all of this. Why? What's she going to do? Sue me? I don't know. But people like this, they don't just go away quietly. They burn everything down on their way out. He was right. I knew he was right. I spent the next hour screenshotting everything. The Instagram posts, Arjun's messages, the text conversations. I backed it all up to 3 different places. Then I called my sister. Rachel answered on the first ring. Thank God, Mom's been calling me asking if you're okay. Something about Jake mentioning you were going through something? Yeah, Priya and I broke up. The girl you were obsessed with? What happened? I gave her the abbreviated version. The engagement, the double life, the lies. She was quiet for a long moment. Marcus, I'm going to say something, and I need you to not get defensive. Okay? This is Emma all over again. That's not fair. I told you to pump the brakes. I told you it was too fast. You've known this girl for 4 months, and you were already talking about her like she was the one. Rachel, I'm not saying you deserved this. You didn't. But you have a pattern, little brother. You meet someone, you fall hard immediately. You ignore red flags because you're so desperate to make it work, and then you're shocked when it falls apart. I wanted to argue. I wanted to tell her she was wrong, but she wasn't. There were red flags, I admitted. The weird phone behavior, the unavailable blocks of time, the family stuff that never quite added up. I didn't want to see them. Because you wanted her to be perfect. Yeah, she was never going to be perfect, Marcus. Nobody is. But you need to start seeing people for who they actually are, not who you want them to be. I sat with that for a while after we hung up. Was that what I'd done? Projected my ideal partner onto Priya and ignored everything that didn't fit? Maybe. Probably. Definitely. Around noon, I finally checked out of the hotel and headed back to my apartment. I half expected to find Priya camped out in the hallway, but it was empty. Inside, everything looked exactly as I'd left it. Her clothes still folded on my dresser, her toothbrush still in the bathroom, her laptop still on my coffee table. I started packing it all up. That's when I found the journal. It was tucked under a stack of her clothes, a small leather-bound notebook I'd never seen before. I shouldn't have opened it. I knew I shouldn't have. I opened it. The first entry was dated 6 months ago, before she'd even moved to New York. Had another fight with Arjun today about the wedding. He wants to move the date up to December. His parents are pushing hard. I said yes because I always say yes, but I feel like I'm drowning. Is this really what I want? A marriage that's been decided by everyone except me? I flipped forward. Moved to New York today. Fresh start. New city. Maybe here I can figure out who I am when I'm not just somebody's daughter or somebody's fiancé. Arjun's staying in Boston for now. He says the commute is manageable on weekends. Part of me is relieved. More entries. She wrote about her new job, her new apartment, her attempts to make friends in the city. Then about 4 months ago. Met someone tonight. Marcus. He's funny and sweet, and he looked at me like I was the only person in the room. When's the last time Arjun looked at me like that? When's the last time anyone did? I gave Marcus my number. I know I shouldn't have. But God, it felt good to be seen. I kept reading, even though every page made me feel worse. Third date with Marcus tonight. I told him my last name was Kapoor because I couldn't use Sharma. Too easy to Google and find the engagement announcements. I hate lying to him, but I also can't stop. Being with him feels like being free. Arjun called today asking about flower arrangements. I almost told him everything. Almost. Ended it. But then he started talking about how excited his mother is, about all the family flying in from India, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't be the person who destroys everything. Marcus told me he loves me tonight. I said it back. I meant it. I love him. I also love Arjun, but in a different way. A safe way. A comfortable way. With Marcus, it's fire and passion and feeling alive. With Arjun, it's stability and family approval and doing the right thing. Why can't I have both? Why do I have to choose? That entry was from 2 months ago. The most recent entry was from the day before everything fell apart. Kavya knows. She found my other phone and saw the messages with Marcus. She's threatening to tell everyone if I don't end it with one of them. She says I'm being selfish and cruel. Maybe she's right. Maybe I am. But I still don't know who to choose. Marcus is my heart. Arjun is my duty. How do you choose between those things? I closed the journal and just sat there. Part of me felt vindicated. See, she was struggling. She did care about me. She wasn't just a monster. But another part of me felt even more betrayed, because she'd had months to figure this out. Months, to be honest. Months to stop this before anyone got hurt. And she'd chosen, over and over again, to keep lying, to keep both lives going, to keep both of us in the dark. That wasn't love. That was cowardice. My phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Marcus Chen? A man's voice I didn't recognize. Older? Formal? Yeah? This is Raj Sharma, Priya's father. Oh, Jesus Christ. Mr. Sharma, I don't think... Please, just listen. I'm calling because my daughter has made some very foolish choices, and I want to apologize on behalf of my family. That was not what I expected. Okay? Priya's mother and I are traditional people. We believed in arranged marriages because that's how we were raised. We thought we were doing the right thing by setting her up with Arjun, but we pushed too hard. We didn't listen when she tried to tell us she wasn't ready. With all due respect, sir, that doesn't excuse what she did to me, or to Arjun. No, it doesn't. But I wanted you to know that we never asked her to lie. When we found out about you, about the double life, we were horrified. That's not how we raised her. Then why is she still trying to contact me? Why is she telling people I'm the bad guy? He sighed heavily. Because she's scared and embarrassed and doesn't know how to accept that she's lost everything. Her fiancé left her. Her family is disappointed in her. And now the man she says she truly loved won't speak to her. She's lashing out. That's not my problem to fix. I know. I'm not asking you to fix it. I'm asking you to block her completely and let her face the consequences of her actions. She needs to learn that she can't manipulate her way out of this one. I've already blocked her. Good, keep it that way. And if she shows, up at your home or workplace, call the police. Get a restraining order if you need to. Whatever it takes to protect yourself. Her own father is telling me to get a restraining order against her? Her own father is telling you that sometimes love means letting someone hit rock bottom so they can learn to climb back up. She won't learn anything if people keep enabling her. We talked for a few more minutes. He apologized again, said he hoped I'd find someone who deserved me, said he was sorry his daughter wasn't that person. After we hung up, I felt strangely hollow. This man, her father, had more integrity than his own daughter. He was willing to admit fault, to apologize, to tell me to protect myself from her. What did that say about Priya? The rest of the day was quiet. I finished packing up her stuff, sealed the boxes, and left them in the lobby with instructions for the doorman to only give them to Priya if she showed up alone and promised not to ask to come up. I cleaned my apartment, changed the sheets, opened all the windows to air the place out. I was trying to purge her from my space. Around 7 p.m., Sarah texted me. Just FYI, Priya's been posting on social media about toxic relationships and narcissistic ex-boyfriends. Don't engage. Everyone who matters knows the truth. I checked Instagram. Sure enough, Priya had posted a long caption about how she'd escaped an emotionally abusive relationship and was healing from manipulation and control. The comments were full of support from people who didn't know the real story. So proud of you for getting out. You deserve so much better. Stay strong, Queen, I wanted to comment, wanted to defend myself, wanted to share those screenshots and expose her for what she really was. But I didn't, because Jake was right. People like this burn everything down, and I didn't need to add fuel to that fire. Instead, I posted my own thing. Nothing specific, just, sometimes the hardest part of a breakup is realizing the person you loved never really existed. You just loved the version of them they performed for you. Here's to healing and finding something real. Within an hour, I had dozens of messages from friends asking if I was okay. I told them I would be. That night, I couldn't sleep again. But this time, it wasn't because I was sad. It was because I was angry. Furious, actually. How dare she play victim? How dare she paint me as the bad guy when she was the one who lied, who cheated, who manipulated everyone around her? I got out of bed and pulled up those screenshots Arjun had sent me. Then I pulled up Priya's Instagram post about toxic relationships. And I thought, fuck it. I commented on her post with a simple message. Interesting perspective. I'm sure Arjun would love to hear your thoughts on toxic relationships. Within minutes, the comment had a dozen likes from mutual friends who knew the real story. Within an hour, Priya had deleted the entire post. Within 2 hours, she'd made her account private. I shouldn't have felt satisfied by that, but I absolutely did. Edit 5, 3 days later. Things have been weird. The story got around, obviously. In a friend group of like 30 people, secrets don't stay secret for long. Most people have been supportive. A few people have been awkwardly neutral, not wanting to take sides or whatever. And one person, this girl Hannah, who was closer to Priya than to me, actually called me an asshole for publicly humiliating Priya. She made a mistake, Hannah said when she cornered me at a coffee shop yesterday. She's going through a lot right now. Did you have to blast her online like that? I didn't blast her anywhere. I commented on her post that was actively lying about me. You could have been the bigger person. She was engaged to someone else while dating me, Hannah, for 4 months. She lied about her name, her family, her entire life, and when she got caught, she tried to make me look like the bad guy. Where exactly was I supposed to be the bigger person in all this? People make mistakes when they're under pressure. Her family was forcing her into that marriage. No one forced her to date me. No one forced her to tell me she loved me. No one forced her to sleep in my bed and make plans for our future while planning a wedding to someone else. Those were choices, and I'm not going to feel bad for calling her out when she tried to rewrite history. Hannah didn't have a response to that. She just shook her head and walked away. But the interaction stuck with me, because she's not wrong that public callouts can be cruel. I don't love that I commented on Priya's post. It felt good in the moment, but afterward, it just felt petty. I'm trying to be better than that, trying to heal without needing revenge. It's harder than it sounds. Yesterday, I had my first therapy session in over a year. My therapist, Dr. Patel, ironically, listened to the whole story and then asked me a question I wasn't expecting. What are you more upset about? That she lied or that you didn't catch the lies? I didn't know how to answer that. Both? I said finally. I think it's important to separate those two things. Her lying was her choice and her failure. You not catching the lies doesn't make you naive or stupid. It makes you someone who chose to trust. Those are very different things. Feels the same from where I'm sitting. I'm sure it does. But if you internalize this as I was stupid to trust her, you're going to have a much harder time trusting anyone in the future. The lesson here isn't don't trust people, it's trust people, but also pay attention to red flags. We talked for the full hour about those red flags, about Emma and how that relationship had made me hypervigilant in some ways and willfully blind in others, about my tendency to move too fast, to commit too hard, to try to force relationships into a shape they weren't meant to have. You're looking for certainty, Dr. Patel said. You want to know within the first month whether this is going to work forever. But relationships don't work like that. They require time and honesty and seeing someone in different contexts before you can really know them. So what, I should date someone for a year before I tell them I love them? I'm saying you should let relationships unfold naturally instead of trying to fast forward to the happily ever after part. I left that session feeling both better and worse. Better because I had some clarity. Worse because I realized how much work I had ahead of me. This morning, I finally went back to work. Everyone was weirdly nice about it. My boss told me to take it easy. My coworkers didn't pry, and someone had left a coffee and a donut on my desk. Around lunch, I got an email from an address I didn't recognize. Subject line, I think you should see this. No message in the body, just an attachment. I almost deleted it without opening. I've seen enough catfishing scams to know better. But something made me click. It was a screenshot of a group chat. The participants were Priya, her cousin Kavya, and 2 other women I didn't recognize. The conversation was from 2 weeks ago, before everything blew up. Priya, I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. Marcus is getting suspicious. Unknown actor 1. Girl, you need to just pick one. This is getting ridiculous. Priya, I know. But Arjun is the smart choice. Marcus is just fun. Kavya, fun? Priya, you told me you loved him. Priya, I do, but love isn't enough. Arjun has the job, the family, the stability. Marcus is a marketing guy who watches reality TV. How am I supposed to build a life with that? Unknown 2. So why not just end it with Marcus? Priya, because I'm not ready. After the wedding, my life is going to be all family obligations and dinner parties and being the perfect wife. Marcus is my last bit of freedom. I just need a few more months. My hands were shaking again. A few more months. Like I was a fucking hobby she'd get bored of eventually. There was more to the conversation, but I couldn't keep reading. I forwarded it to Jake, and then closed my laptop. An hour later, Jake called. "Where did you get that?" "Someone emailed it to me. I don't know who." "It's fucked up, man. I'm sorry." "Did you know she thought of me that way? As just fun?" "No. I swear, I thought she was actually into you. Sarah thought so too." I believed him, but it didn't make me feel better. That screenshot confirmed what I'd been trying not to believe, that I was never the real choice, that even if she'd picked me, it would have been temporary, that I was always going to be the runner-up to her perfect, parent-approved life. That night, I finally unblocked Priya's number one more time, not to read her messages, but to send her one final text. "Know you think of me as a mistake you need to clean up. I know I was just fun while you figured out your real life. I know you were never planning to actually choose me, and I need you to know that I'm not angry anymore. I'm just sad. Sad that you couldn't be honest. Sad that you wasted 4 months of both our lives. Sad that you're the kind of person who uses people and then gets upset when they don't want to be used anymore. I hope you figure out how to be happy with yourself, because I don't think you're capable of making anyone else happy until you do. Don't contact me again. Not today, not next week, not ever. We're done." I hit send and then blocked her number for the last time. This time, I deleted the contact entirely so I wouldn't be tempted to unblock her again. 2 hours later, Sarah texted me. "Priya just called me crying saying you sent her a cruel message. Want to tell me what you said?" I sent Sarah a screenshot of the group chat and my final text. Sarah's response, "Holy shit. Okay, yeah, you were a lot nicer than I would have been. I'm blocking her too. This is beyond ridiculous." It felt good to have my friends in my corner, to know that people saw through her bullshit, but it also felt exhausting. Like, how much energy was I going to spend on this person before I could finally just move on? Edit 6, 1 week later. I'm starting to feel almost normal again. I've been throwing myself into work, hitting the gym, seeing friends, doing all the post-breakup cliches. And honestly, it's helping. Last night, Jake dragged me to a bar to watch football. I didn't want to go. Crowds still feel overwhelming, but he insisted. "You can't hide in your apartment forever," he said. "At some point, you have to rejoin society." So I went. And halfway through the second quarter, a woman sat down next to me at the bar. She was maybe early 30s, wearing a blazer like she'd just come from work, and she ordered a whiskey neat. "Rough day?" I asked, because apparently I'm incapable of not talking to attractive women at bars. She laughed. "Rough month. You?" "Rough few months." We ended up talking through the rest of the game. Her name was Jennifer. She worked in finance, and she'd just gotten out of a long-term relationship where her ex had been emotionally unavailable for 3 years before finally admitting he didn't want marriage or kids. "Wasted my entire 20s on that asshole," she said, not quite slurring, but definitely tipsy. "What's your damage?" "My girlfriend was engaged to someone else the entire time we were dating." Jesus Christ, that's actually worse than mine. It's not a competition. If it was, you'd win. We laughed about that. And then we talked about other things, movies, travel, our respective terrible apartment situations. It was easy, comfortable. When the bar closed, she wrote her number on a napkin. "I'm not looking for anything serious," she said, "but if you ever want to grab a drink and complain about our exes, I'm available." I took the napkin. I haven't called her yet. Maybe I won't. But it felt good to have a normal interaction with someone. To flirt a little. To remember that there are other people out there. That Priya wasn't the only option. That maybe I'm going to be okay after all. This morning, Arjun texted me. "I heard she's seeing someone new already. Thought you should know." I stared at that text for a long time. Part of me wanted to know who. Wanted to stalk their social media and torture myself with comparisons. But I didn't ask. I just wrote back. "Not my problem anymore. Hope you're doing all right." He sent back a thumbs up. And you know what? He's right. It's not my problem. She can date whoever she wants. She can lie to them too. She can build another double life if that's what makes her happy. But I'm not going to be part of it. I'm done. Really, truly done. Final update, 2 weeks after the last edit. I'm writing this from my apartment, my clean, Priya-free apartment, and I'm feeling something I haven't felt in weeks. Hope. Not because anything dramatic happened. There's no big twist ending. Priya didn't show up to apologize or reveal some secret that makes everything make sense. She's just gone. Out of my life. Moving on with hers while I move on with mine. I called Jennifer. We got drinks. It was nice. We're taking it slow. Like, glacially slow, because neither of us is ready for anything serious. But it's teaching me that I can enjoy someone's company without immediately planning our future together. I can just exist in the moment. I've been doing more therapy. Dr. Patel and I are working through my patterns, my need for certainty, my tendency to ignore red flags when I'm infatuated. It's hard work. Some days I still think about Priya, about the good parts, the parts that felt real, but I'm learning to hold both truths at once, that my feelings were real, and that she was never who I thought she was. My sister was right. I do have a pattern, and I'm working on breaking it. Last week, I ran into someone who knew Priya, a mutual acquaintance from that original birthday party. She asked how we were doing. "We broke up," I said simply. "Oh no, I'm sorry. You two seemed so happy." "Yeah, we seemed a lot of things." I didn't elaborate, didn't share the drama, just smiled and changed the subject. Because I'm learning that not every story needs to be told to every person. Some things can just be mine, my pain, my healing, my journey forward. So that's where I'm at now, Reddit. 2 months after I found that wedding dress, 6 weeks after the breakup, 2 weeks after I finally, truly let go. I'm okay. Not great, not totally healed, but okay. And okay is enough for now. Thanks for coming on this absolutely insane journey with me. I hope your love lives are significantly less dramatic than mine turned out to be. And if someone you're dating ever accidentally calls you the wrong title, fiance, husband, wife, whatever, trust your gut. Because sometimes that slip isn't an accident. Sometimes it's the truth trying to claw its way out. Take care of yourselves. Marcus. Thread locked by moderators. Too many users attempting to identify the people involved.